Crack open the mystery of brews with Shagdog and Jammer on the Spit or Swallow Beer Review. Venture with us into the frothy depths of pilsners, ales, lagers and stouts. Dive headfirst into flavor profiles and swim through the history of brewing. But remember, it's not about the beer you drink, it's how you drink it. So ready to spit or swallow? Stay tuned for our uncensored, unfiltered and unabashedly honest reviews.
Welcome to the Spit or Swallow Beer Review. Shagdog's here. Figured I'd do a review before I go to bed. Budweiser, the king of beers, right? What's it saying there? King of beers. It doesn't say the, it just says king of beers. It does say over here, the Great American Budweiser Lager Beer. So, the Great American Budweiser Lager Beer. Okay. This is a 24-ounce can. I don't recall seeing a 24-ounce Budweiser can in a long time. So when I was walking by, I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy that. So here we go. I didn't even check. I'm going to Googleize it here in a second. The last time I reviewed this. I know I've done it. I don't know if I've done it since the new channel started in 2020. I might have, because I know one time I met a girl and she got me drinking. She gave me a couple Budweisers in a bottle, so I might have reviewed it. Who knows? Let's get as much as this awesome beer in here that I can. Get that head going. Let's see if I Google eyes or YouTube eyes that to see the last time that we reviewed this delicious adjunct lager. It used to be, I mean, they still call themselves the king of beers back in the 60s. That might have been true. I know Budvar and what is that, Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic or Slovakia or one of them sued them because basically the beer is named after a town called Budvar in that country. Well, who cares? This guy came to America, named the beer after his town that he came from. Now you got these idiots in that town sued them years ago. I don't know, 4 or 5, 10 years ago. They can't sell this in that town or something. They have to call it something different. And I think they probably gave that town money or something. Or the actual beer. They do have a beer there called Budvar. So, yeah. Anyhow, let's see. YouTube. We'll see if I've done this any time. Well, just to give a reference of how long it's been since I drank it. Let's see. Manage. I'll pour a little bit more in there while we're waiting for that page to load up. Give it a look-see, too. It's kind of a pale gold, not very dark. I think if this beer company add a little bit more effort and a little tiny bit more money into the crafting of this beer, it might do good. But the head is a nice frothy looking head, actually. I mean, you probably can't see the top of that here. I'll show you. See that head? It looks kind of frothy. Probably just screwed up everything in the camera. Let's see. Budweiser, last time we did it, I'm sure Jammer didn't do it. I think I did this by myself. Bud Light. Let's see if I can type in the whole thing. Bud, why? Damn, I did it a couple times. July 2022, July 2021, and then I also did it August 2020. So this is the 4th time I've done it since August of 2020 in almost 5 years. So I'm almost averaging about once every 14, 15 months. Awesomeness. All right, so there's a look-see. It's kind of pale gold, very pale. Almost would think it's a light beer, you know. And the ABV is, according to Beer Advocate, 57. I'm surprised they gave it that high. 5%. ABV. Brewed using a blend of imported and classic American aroma hops, a blend of barley, malts, and rice. Budweiser is brewed with time-honored methods, including kraeusening for natural carbonation and Beechwood agent, which results in an unparalleled balancing character. I tell you what, it's pretty good. When I had it last out of the bottle, I like it out of the brown bottle. It tastes pretty good. It's nice, ice and cold. Pretty damn good adjunct lager. You know, if you haven't had one in a while, or had a hard day work, it's a good lawnmower beer, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you pick up the corn, rice, a little graininess. It smells like your typical adjunct lager. There's nothing special with the kraeusening that does any wonders for this beer, I don't think. But, it has its place. Let's do it. Let's get this over here so it's out of my face. Cheers. Happy Mother's Day. Way better out of a bottle for some reason. Most beers I like out of a can, but Budweiser, I like it out of the bottle for some reason. Of course, if I poured it out of the bottle into the glass, it probably tastes the same, actually, or comparably the same. It's not real bad. It's a crappy adjunct lager, yeah, but hot summer day. What's the ABV on this again? I mean, what is Bud Light, like 4.2 or something? And this is 5%. So it's like a souped up Bud Light, not like a Bud Light Platinum. But, in between a Bud Light and a Bud Light Platinum, plus this probably tastes better than Bud Light Platinum, actually. I mean, the mouth feels nice. The back end, it kind of gives you a little resemblance of swallowing trash, but up front, the middle, nice mouthfeel, a little foaminess. I mean, the back end is where it hits you. You get a little bit of a Bud trash taste, like you're tasting Newark, New Jersey. I'm sure they still have a facility in Newark, New Jersey. If you ever drive by Newark, I don't know about now because I haven't driven by Newark since like 1994. This smell, I mean, I drove by there on a train actually, and you can smell it. I drove into Newark on a train, yeah. So as soon as you get off you don't smell as much when you get off the train station, but coming into Newark, it smells like trash around there. St. Louis, Newark. I don't know. They got any other? Where are all the Anheuser-Busch facilities at? Explore our breweries. Baldwinsville, New York. Maybe they don't have one in New York anymore. Baldwinsville, New York. Cartersville, Georgia. Columbus, Ohio. Fairfield, California. Don't they brew any? Oh, wait, there's more. Okay. That's just too many. Okay. Williamsburg, Virginia. St. Louis, Missouri, of course. Newark, New Jersey, still there. Merrimack, New Hampshire. Los Angeles, California. Jacksonville, Florida. Houston, Texas. Fort Collins, Colorado. Fairfield, California. Columbus, Ohio. Cartersville, Georgia. Baldwinsville, New York. I'm surprised with their sales gone down. I mean, they're still selling. But I'm surprised they haven't closed any of these places. But you never know. Let's get a little bit more of this kraeusening beer in there. That's why I really would love to try old stuff. Yeah, old style if I ever get my hands on it. That's kraeusening also. What does kraeusening mean? I don't know offhand. I can forget. What does a kraeusening beer mean? German term for the addition of actively fermenting wort as an occult to induce fermentation in a different batch of wort of a beer. It's a whole bunch of wort. Carbonate beers without using sugars or as their adjuncts, but they do add adjuncts. So anyhow. Yeah, I mean, it's not real bad. Just the back end. I mean, almost it made me cheapen this up even more over the last 10, 20 years. Almost at the back end, I almost get a taste like Busch. It can't be that much different than Busch, you know? I like to see the different side by side, how they brew both of them, you know? See if there's how much difference there is, actually. Easy drinking. Just a weird little... I wouldn't even say it tastes like trash. It almost has a taste of like the smell of a hefty garbage bag, you know? Not with trash in it, but just that hefty garbage bag smell. That's how some of the Anheuser, this, Busch Light a little bit too. But it's easy to drink. I'd probably give it because it's easy at the front end, even the aftertaste is okay. It's just some weird taste in the back of the palate. Right at the finish point. I'm going to give it a C- and a swallow. That's about as high as I can go on it. But don't get me wrong. If I had one of these, I was out mowing the lawn, hot summer day, it might get a B-, C+, or B-. Who knows? It has its place. That's the type of beer. It has its place. I probably should have bought a 12 ounce. But you know what? Go for the gusto, right? I used to drink these. Only time I ever drank these a lot was my first year or two in the Army. My first duty station. We got these a lot. Then we started drinking these, and then we started drinking Bud Dry. And then we started drinking Bud Ice in 93. And then say goodbye to Bud Dry because I never saw it again. I got stationed overseas in the middle of 93. And before I left New Jersey, they still had Bud Dry and they had Bud Ice. But where I was at overseas, I never saw the Bud Dry. It was always the Bud Ice. And then when I came back 2 years later, never saw Bud Dry again, even though... What year did Anheuser-Busch stop making Bud Dry? Supposedly 2010. But I never saw it. Maybe they only sold it in the St. Louis area. Also says Michelob Dry was brewed all the way to then. But I never saw it. Yeah. I mean, the market must have been small for Bud Dry because 2010 is when they ended it. And I didn't see it from when I left New Jersey in 1993. They might have still had it. Maybe 94, 95. I was overseas. I never saw it overseas. And then when I came back, I never saw it. 95. Pennsylvania. I went back to Pennsylvania. Didn't see it. I moved to Florida. Matter of fact, my new beer at that time, 96 going to 97 was Miller Red Label. And then I moved from Pennsylvania to Florida in 97. I couldn't find the Miller Red Label down there at all. And then Miller Red Label was discontinued, I think 98, 99. When was Miller Red Label beer discontinued? It was out from 1996 to 1998. Yeah, so I didn't see it down in Florida at all, though. It was pretty good, I thought. Yeah, I miss that beer. They didn't even say like what was special about it. It was just Miller. It said Miller, and it was a brown bottle, red label. It said Miller. That was it. What type of beer was Miller Red Label? Gotta Googleize it. Miller Red Label was an American-style lager. It was a popular beer in the late 1990s, early 2000s, known for its crisp, apparently not early 2000s, but crisp golden color and smooth, slightly hoppy flavor. It was considered a full-flavored beer with a medium body and a crisp finish. I mean, there's a picture of it right there, if I can bring it up. That was it. I mean, that was a damn good beer. I liked it. Damn. Yeah, I don't know how somebody could grade on Beer Advocate. They graded on 2016, even though they didn't have it for many, many years. Anyhow, here I'm drinking Budweiser and talking about Miller. But just those obscure beers made by all those companies, Michelob Dry, Michelob Dark. I think Amberbach is still around, but I haven't seen that in a couple years either. I haven't seen the regular Michelob. Supposedly what I read this year is they discontinued Michelob Light. Does Anheuser-Busch still make regular Michelob and Michelob Light? It's still made. It's only in certain markets, I guess, now. I like the Michelob Light. The regular Michelob Light is way better than the damn Michelob Ultra. Of course, more flavor to the Michelob Light than the Ultra. The Michelob Ultra is the super light of Michelob Light, basically. I'll tell you what, Budweiser needs some new marketing, because I would come back out with Bud Dry. You could have a commercial during the Super Bowl, Bud Bowl, whatever, and the return of comes out of retirement, Bud Dry, and wipes the slate dry with, even runs over Bud Ice. Yeah. Because they got the Magnum and Bud Crown or something at one time, and all these crappy different Budweiser things that come out. Bud Magnum, I thought that was new, but that was one of the ones that came out a couple years ago, I think. Horrible tasting. Bud Platinum, nasty. I think Bud Dry should come back and just run over all of them. Yeah, Bud Dry was pretty good. Bud Dry was like this, but it was better. I think that's why they got rid of it, because it was better than this. I think Bud Dry sales were up then. They put this way down. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. Supply and demand. I mean, if someone's demanding a different beer that you make, well, put this one to the back burner. I'm going to assume this one's out of Jacksonville, maybe, or Virginia. I know they try to distribute locally to your region or whatever. Right? Pretty sure. What company it was back in the 80s that had some rats in the can? Was that Pepsi, or I can't remember now. Yeah, I can't remember it all. Matter of fact. Whew. Yeah, I better drink this horrible 24-ounce can of Budweiser. Happy Mother's Day, y'all. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, this makes you burp. Yeah, plenty of days when I was stationed in New Jersey. Me and my roommate, Troy, a couple other guys, they played this game called Bouye. Fuck it, I can't. Some weird game. It's kind of like Spades, but it was different. Bouray? I think it's Bouray. It's like some Louisiana version of Spades or something. I rarely played. I just sat there and drank and watched. But yeah, we had beer pyramids. It was mostly Bud and Bud Dry cans piled up real high into a pyramid. We thought we were cool. What year was the last year that regular Budweiser was the number one selling beer in America? It says 2001. This was the number one selling beer in America. And after that, Bud Light took its top spot. Modelo Especial overtook Bud Light in 2023. We know the reason why for that, right? Yeah. Wow. 2001? This was the most selling. Well, back then, nobody wanted to drink light beers because, like, if you drink light beers, you're considered like a wuss. Oh, you're drinking light beers? What, are you a lady? Because that's what the ladies drank back then. Now they drink White Claws and that kind of shit, but I'm trying to see if any other special notes on here. I tell you what, do they even have a Budweiser NASCAR car anymore? I don't even know. I mean, you can just go on Googleize and stuff all day long, right? The beer. What was the top selling beer in America from 1950 to now? 1950s, Schaefer was among the highest selling with over 5 million barrels. More recently, Bud Light held the top spot for many years, and then Modelo, okay. America's biggest brewer by decade, but it's brewer. It doesn't say by beer. Well, the biggest brewer in the 50s was Schlitz. Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company. They're going by brewers, not beer company. But let's go to the top 10. 1950s. Number 10 was Pfeiffer. 9 was Blotz. 8 was Miller. Falstaff was 7. Lehman Brothers was 6. F&M Schaefer was 5. Pabst Brewing was 4. Ballantine, which was its own brewing company actually back then, was number 3. And Anheuser-Busch was number 2. And Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company was number 1. 1960s, number 10 was Miller. So they dropped down a couple. Liebman, F&M Schaefer, Theo Ham Brewing Company, Ham. P. Valentine and Sons dropped down to 6. Pabst, Carlin Brewing Company, Falstaff, Joseph Schlitz dropped down to 2. And Anheuser-Busch was number 1 for this whole decade. 70s, Anheuser-Busch again is number 1 from top 10. Associated Brewing Company, I don't know, we're going to have to look that up. Wow. Theo Ham, Carlin, Miller, Falstaff, F&M Schaefer. Adolphus Busch finally broke the top 10 in the 1970s, probably thanks to Smoking in the Bandit. Pabst Brewing, Joe Schlitz, and Anheuser-Busch. 1980s, Schmitz and Sons was number 10, Falstaff 9. Olympia Brewing Company Olympia Brewing Company. That was eventually bought by Pabst, though. Yeah. Stroh's, number 7. G. Heilman was number 6. Adolphus Coors was 5. Joe Schlitz was 4. Pabst was 3. Miller 2. Miller jumps way up to 2 in the 1980s. Anheuser-Busch, number 1. So Miller went from number 8 in the 50s, number 10 in the 60s, the 7 in the 70s, and then 80s up to number 2. 90s, Barton Beers Ltd., whatever the fuck that is. Molson USA was number 9. High Falls Brewing Company, number 8. Heineken Brewing USA Incorporated was number 8. Heineken, wait, High Falls was 8. High Falls was 8. Heineken was 7. Pabst was 6. G. Heilman was 5. Stroh's was 4 in 1990s. Adolphus Coors was number 3. Miller was number 2. Anheuser-Busch number 1. So basically 3 decades in a row in Anheuser-Busch. 2000, first decade of the 2000s. Number 10, breaking into the top 10, Boston Beer Company. Number 9, Guinness finally breaks into the top 10, selling breweries, not beers, but not individual beers, breweries in the U.S. Number 8, Barton Beers. That's another one. I have to look up, see what beers they had. Number 7, Gambrinus. Never heard of that one. Labatt was number 6. Can you believe that? Heineken, 5. Pabst, 4. That just shows you the kind of drinking idiots we're doing in the 1990s and 2000s. Pabst, 4. Molson, 3. Molson Coors. I guess they collaborated at that time or joined together or whatever. Miller was number 2. And Anheuser-Busch, again, was number 1. 2010s or teens. Mike's Hard Lemonade Company. The company was number 10. Yingling jumps into the top 10. Number 9. Boston Beer Company joins again. They moved up to number 8. North American Breweries, number 7. I don't know what the hell beers they had. Diego Guinness. Of course, they changed the name. Number 6. Pabst Brewing was 5. Pabst Brewing, that was the first time they got back into it, right? Because they dropped it. Oh, no, they were number 4. Wow. Heineken, number 4. Constellation Brands Incorporated, number 3. Miller's, number 2. Anheuser-Busch, 1. And then I guess this was dated as of 2017. So that year this came out was 2017. That year, 2017, Mike's Hard Lemonade, Diego Guinness, North American Breweries, which I think does brewing for a lot of different companies, or they did. Yingling, number 7. Boston Beer Company, number 6. Pabst Brewing is number 5. Heineken USA, number 4. Constellation Brands, number 3. Miller Coors, number 2. I don't know how they were called Miller Coors, but that's when Miller, I think, was joined. They should say Molson Coors, because Miller is part of Molson Coors now. And Anheuser-Busch, number 1. I wish somebody rich like myself, if I won the Powerball, like say 165 million or even the big ones that got up to like $1 billion. I don't know how much it would cost to buy Miller from Coors Molson, but I would buy it. I would make Miller great again. I don't know how I'm going to make him great because Miller really never had nothing crazy. You got Miller and Miller Lite, Miller High Life, Miller Lite, Miller Genuine Draft. You got Miller 64, and that was the other one they had. I'd definitely come back out with Miller Chilada, not Miller Chill, not their lime beer, but before that it was called just straight up Miller Chilada. It was a regular Chilada beer, no tomato, just the beer, the lime, pepper, whatever. It was a lot better. And I would spare no expenses with ingredients. I mean, I wouldn't be changing the formula too much, but I definitely have the best ingredients that would make it the best version of Miller High Life, Miller Lite. Yeah, we'd storm the country. Yeah, so I guess I had a scammer trying to scam me earlier. I knew it was too good to be true. Some 32-year-old writing me. But she was cutie, yeah. You never know, somebody might have some daddy issues. Jammer missed my text. But that's okay. He's probably sleeping now. He sent me a message. I sent him some messages like an hour ago or somewhere, and he just sent me a message saying he missed my text. Ooh, 24 ounces, man. In 30 minutes. And I could get to bed soon. I still got about an hour. Yeah, it was a rough night at work, man. Rough night every night. When I first started working at this place, we had about 15 to 20 people every night. Now we're lucky if we have 8 to... There's been a couple nights we have 14 or 15, but most nights it's around 8 to 12. But we're still doing the same amount of work, if not more, that we did 3 years ago. For one, they don't hire enough people, and then they don't hire enough quality people. Granted, a new person comes in, they're not going to be doing the job good, you know. But this particular job, within 3 or 4 weeks, you should be... okay. I'll say it a different way. When you come in there that first week, we could tell if they're going to last or not. You can just tell that with most employees at different jobs. They come in that first week, you look at their work ethic, how they do things. Now, I'm not going to say all of them, because some people that come in, it's the first time that them working or a physical job or a job where they got to work. So they're like, wow, I don't know what to do. And some of them pick it up. Like after someone comes in that first week, you're like, wow, this guy's a piece of shit. He ain't going to be here. But then 2 or 3 weeks later, you're like, wow, this guy's learned is pretty good. You know, I think, yeah, he's pretty good. He picks it up. But then other ones, the way they work in this first week, they're still working the same fucking way 6 months later. They should be fired after about 3 months if they're still doing that. But anyhow, sorry, Dad. I used the F word. Sorry, Mom. I saw one guy today. I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. They've already gotten this guy already not being on his post, walking around, not doing nothing. I saw him today not doing nothing, and I was like, God, isn't there some type of test they have to give these guys? I mean, we do some type of test. What do you call it? Kind of a test that tells you what your job's about and what would you do if this happened or this person did this. See, I can't even think right now. Anyhow, you know the thing. Some test it does with your job, and it describes like different scenarios in your job, and what would you do if a customer came up to you and did this, or a fellow employee did this, or how would you help people? If these people were having a hard time, would you? Yeah, all those stupid type of questions. They have that. I don't know what the hell the passing score is because I can't believe all these people passed that test. What's the sense of even having it? You know? What they should have is when they come into orientation, have it set up a little job scenario. Okay, this is what you do. Here's what you do. Explain it to them. And go ahead. We're just going to give you this little tiny bit of do. Let's see how you work it. And if they're staring at it for 10 minutes, okay, you're fired. should work for Trump the way I explain things. Yeah. Budweiser. I give it a score already. So if you missed them, I do apologize. I did give it a C minus and a swallow. So it has its place. Well, what can you do, right? It's been around for a long, long time. I'm not even sure what year Budweiser came out with this particular beer. Do you? I don't know. I thought I had it out here. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. 1876. So I'm sure this particular beer is 1876. You figure they put that on the can somewhere. Really, oh, there it is right there. A little small print. Since 1876. Anheuser-Busch. I'm not sure this particular, if this beer is the same as 1876, but now I forgot who sold out to who, because you have Anheuser and Busch, two different guys. Anheuser-Busch history. Edward Anheuser purchases a struggling Bavarian brewery in St. Louis and names it E. Anheuser and Company. That was 1852. 1865, Adolphus Busch, a German immigrant and brewery supplier, joins Anheuser and becomes a partner in 1873. 1876, Budweiser, a pale lager, is introduced, becoming a major success. 1880, Edward Anheuser dies and Adolphus Busch becomes president. 1901, Anheuser-Busch Brewing Association surpasses Pabst, selling over 1 million barrels of 1 million barrels annually. That was 1901. More history too: innovation, expansion, post-prohibition, beyond. A lot of history. Yeah, in 2016, InBev, which owns Anheuser-Busch now, buys or joins Saab Miller, which is South African breweries who owned Miller Brewery at the time, restructured their holdings, resulting in Molson Coors becoming the sole owner of Miller Coors, or whatever the hell they want to call it. Basically, all the South African brewery owned beers, which most of them I never heard of, there's a couple, went to InBev, and then Coors got all the Miller stuff. So Coors, Molson, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Because before Anheuser-Busch bought them, Miller wasn't with Coors, but they had some type of partnership thing going on where they helped join with distribution and stuff like that. You know. Anywho. Yeah. And I wonder what year did Busch beer come out? 1955. So I was thinking maybe the guy, because he survived and he came out, well, we got this Budweiser beer going good. How about I come out with a beer named after me called Busch? But apparently he didn't do it. Maybe one of his grandchildren or something did, but yeah. Head for the mountains, head for Busch beer, right? That Busch freaking beer, right? Busch. Wow. I wonder if there are any grandchildren or both Anheuser and Busch's still around. It's a shame that Mr. Anheuser died, but at least Mr. Busch was still there to take it over, right? Busch always wins. Ask Mr. Dukakis. Yeah, you know, I'll drink a Budweiser if it's offered to me at a party or wherever. I don't go to parties anymore. Jesus Christ. So I probably won't ever get offered a Budweiser for free because I don't go anywhere where someone has beer for free. But if I did, I would take it. Now, if I go to some type of concert or a sporting event and they got all the big name beers there, I'm probably going to buy a Miller or a Yingling, maybe even a Coors Light, or only Anheuser-Busch products I'd probably buy to pay that big money for if they didn't have Miller. I don't even know if I drink Miller High Life. I'd probably drink a light beer if I'm at a concert. So it's going to be Miller Lite, Coors Light. Probably about it. Miller Lite, Coors Light, or if they have Michelob Light. Now, Bud Light would be my last resort. But if I was sponsored by Bud, say if Spit or Swallow Beer Review got sponsored by Anheuser-Busch like the other dude girl did, would we accept it? I'd have to talk to my partner, Jammer, my business partner. Hey, Jammer, Budweiser wants to sponsor our beer review channel. They're going to pay us, even though we only get 10 views a video. But they're going to pay us $10,000 a year, to start off each, $10,000 each. I think he would take it. I think Jammer would be like, yeah, I could invest that $10,000. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And we had to do a little commercial for Budweiser in between the middle of the video. I think we could do that. So Budweiser, hit us up. We have to do one Budweiser review at least a month and give it a good review. We could lie. I mean, I'm not against lying. I'd probably give this a B plus instead of a C minus. Like I said, it might vary. If I'm mowing the lawn, this might be a B plus. See if I get all that out of there. Got a couple drops. Yeah. I watched what's that movie? Patriot Day, not Patriot Games. Patriot Day, about the Boston Marathon bombing the other day I watched it yesterday with Mark Wahlberg. Good movie. Although the guy Mark Wahlberg played, I don't think he looks anything like the guy in real life. From what I see at the end, they showed some of the real people, and I was like, where the hell's the guy Mark Wahlberg played? And the guy that ended up being, I'm like, that's the guy Mark Wahlberg played. Doesn't even look nothing like him. Anyhow. All right, movie. Pretty good movie. You know what? The Boston Marathon. When is the Boston? Is that Boston? When is the Boston Marathon? That already passed. Wow, April 21st. So much I know. I remember that Boston Marathon bombing. I was up all night once they, the news came out on CNN. I mean, I worked night shift anyhow, so it wasn't hard for me to stay up all night. It was my night off. I worked like 2 days on, 2 days off, that sort of stuff. And whenever, the report came in, I was watching CNN or Fox, whatever. Report came in that, it wasn't the night they caught the one in the damn, the boat. It was the night they were chasing them. They found out they carjacked some kid, and they're hunting them down, chasing them, and found that, news reports are coming in. It was sporadic and crazy, I was watching that shit all night. It was almost like the O.J. Simpson stuff, except we didn't see everything. But reports came in that, the one guy was ran over. Now they're on the chasing the other one, trying to find him, and they're searching for him, the younger brother. And I was like, man, all they got to find him and shoot that guy on TV. I'm all excited. It's fun as shit. You don't get too many. Occasionally, you'll get some news stuff like that. I mean, most news are bad, But when you get somebody that does something bad, and then you almost could capture them on TV live, maybe get shot up or something. That's good TV. It's too bad Grady Judd. I wonder if they got any body cam footage of some of the stuff. One time in Polk County, Florida, they caught this dude that was shot a deputy, killed him or whatever, and they got him out in the woods, found him, and they shot him up. I don't know, 70, 90 sometimes or something. And then the reporter asked Sheriff Grady Judd Grady, whatever his name is, how come you shot that man so many times? Or how come you shot that man 95 times? And he said, well, we ran out of bullets. Basically insinuating they would have shot him more if they had more bullets. That was pretty funny. Yeah, he was a funny guy. He's still sheriff, I believe, too, yeah. The other time they had a riot at a juvie jail. And then a news conference. And the mother is like, my son's at that juvenile facility. He shouldn't have to deal with stuff like that. And he said, if you were a better mother, happy Mother's Day, by the way. If you were a better mother, he wouldn't have been at that place. I was like, the guy's got balls. Yeah. It's true. But, I mean, you can't blame it on the parents all the time, though. They're really good parents out there where the children just go astray, you know. You know, the parents might be too strict and they want to rebel and stuff like that. You can't blame everything on the parents. Every murderer out there isn't because of the parents, you know. But then again, some are. I remember I used to work at a facility, and God, I probably shouldn't say stuff like this on here, but yeah, I was up in the main gate, and the inmate was being released that day. So the family, usually the inmates get clothes donated to them by churches or whatever. But the family could send clothes in, or the day that they're getting out, they could bring clothes that they could wear or whatever. So family member comes up, gives the bag full of clothes, and of course I got to check it. And there's a damn tampon in the bag. And I'm like, man, he can't. What's this for? He can't have this. And she's like, it's for his ass because he's gonna shit when he sees who I brought with me. This was his mother, and I'm thinking, okay, now I know why he's in here. Happy Mother's Day. So basically, his own mother is telling me a joke, tampon, put up your ass because you're gonna shit. Who she brought with him? I guess because she brought his old girlfriend or something. He's gonna shit, all right. He's gonna shit because it's like, Mom, you're a dumbass for bringing my old girlfriend. Yeah. Anyhow, thanks to the 3 viewers we got. Mom, probably Jammer, and maybe Jammer fan. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Shit, I could do one more beer, huh? Nah, it's time to get off. Got to get to bed in about 45 minutes. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe and comment. I'm going to have to edit this video because that's way too long, 45 minutes. Nobody's going to watch that unless I become famous. So, Spitter Swallow Beer Review. Earlier I did a Mother Fest, our Mother's Day Spectacular. So check out that video. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Spitter Swallow Beer Review. Peace out.